I can't explain why I shine and no one else shines. I think everybody shines in different things. And a lot of things I can't do. I can't play basketball like every other black person in America, but I can act. I know how to go to that true spot in myself because I'm there every day. I can be me. I can be whoever because I'm true to me. I can go to neutral easily. A lot of people, black, white, Mexican, young or old, fat or skinny, have a problem being true to themselves. They have a problem looking in the mirror and looking directly into their own souls. The reason I sell 6 million records, the reason I can go to jail and come out without a scratch, the reason I can walk around, the reason I am who I am today is because I can look directly into my face and find my soul. It's there. It's not sold. I didn't sell it. It's still within me. I still feel it. My heart is still connected to my body. So I could, any character, I'm going to bring that intensity, that truth, and that honesty to it because I have to repay for that blessing from Black Jesus, from God. I have to pay for that by shining. If he give you the voltage and you waste it, that's the curse. He gave me the voltage, I'm gonna shine. It's not mine, it's from God, it's God. Not that it's so special that nobody got it, but all of our gifts and blessings and our strengths and our weaknesses come from God. Come from Black Jesus or whoever, it comes from within you, you know what I mean? So it's not really tricky. Everybody can do it if they just can go to that spot. I guess all the things that happened to me in my life allow me to go there easily. Now, if you're not dark inside and you come to this world, it'll turn you dark. You know what I'm saying? And so if you really have sunshine in you, it's not good to play in the dark. It's just going to extinguish your fire. Believe in yourself and don't let nobody stop you from doing what you got to do. You got to have faith. If you can't find faith in the world, find faith in God, find faith in yourself, but you got to have.
In retrospect, how would you say that your life has been? What would you say about your life? How would you define it?
I would say it's been like a test on my faith. You know what I'm saying? You know how, I guess his name was Job in the Bible, who God just did all of this crazy stuff to him just to make sure his faith was straight. And that's how it was. It made me, if I didn't have all of this stuff, I don't think that my feet would have been so firm to where I could stand up for anything, you know, and I would be less ready to deal with what's out there.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish. And because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up. People can tell you, you know, don't do this or don't do that, but my whole mind state is that if we don't ever go outside of the boundaries, we will never change anything. We will never begin anything. We will never start anything. We'll just keep talking about the people who did it once and told us not to go outside the thing. That's just like them telling Christopher Columbus that the world is flat. You know what I mean? I'm doing the same thing. They're telling me you can't do this. You can only rap. And if you rap, you can only rap about this. And then you can't act. And if you act, you can only do the black films. And you know, you can't be a rap. You can't be an artist or a celebrity and go out still. And you can't be an artist and still have fun and still be true. I don't like that. So I try to go outside the boundaries. Sometimes it's effective and it's positive. Sometimes it's negative and it blows up in my face. You could be one kind of an artist, or you could be another kind of artist. I want to be an exceptional artist, and I want to be here for the longevity. You know, I want to be, when it's over, I want it to be more than just for the beats and the bass lines. I want it to be for something. I want to stand for something, you know. I want to be just a regular statistic, you know what I'm saying? I want to break the mold. So while everybody's saying how they can't do it, I want to do it. And then when I do it, watch everybody do it. Then I go back to thugging fully again, you know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm a show. I'm listening to what everybody's saying. What it seems like the whole country is saying. Everybody is losing people. Everybody's at the cemetery. You know what I'm saying? That's when you can do your best business. So I want to see what I can do to change it. And if I can't, and if it don't work, then, you know, I'll go another route. But this is just one thing I want to try. I got a song called Me Against the World. Perfect for all this. Perfect. Me against the world. It's just got nothing to lose. It's just me against the world.
For Thug Life, when you were with Digital, working as a roadie and as a dancer, was that real? When I mean, I just read that you used to like do dance, you know, the dances with the plastic.
Dance with the Naked Doll. That was me. That's what I mean by I'm real. I'm truly hardcore because I needed the money and I had to work. So if you told me that for me to get paid, I had to go out there in bikini briefs and hop on top of this doll, and that's how I got to get paid. And I was homeless at the time. That's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? But what I did was not let him pimp me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I just did that because that was my order. As soon as I got the chance to say what was on my mind, I said what was on my mind. And we have a platinum record now. You know what I'm saying? So I went from dancing naked with the dolls, being unknown, to now having a platinum record. You know what I'm saying? And now I don't have to never touch another naked doll. I'll never have to dance, jiggle, nothing. I can hire dancers. You know what I'm saying? I got 3 people dancing. I can have people dancing in the audience. You know what I'm saying? Well, you have to work from one point to go to another point. So I admire the work ethic. I think that it should be reinforced throughout our neighborhoods, that everybody should work hard. Practice makes perfect. You have to be diligent about what you want. You have to apply yourself. You have to motivate yourself. You have to do it for self, by yourself. And then you can do things for other people. But that's what I had to do. I had to do for self.
I just want to move forward, y'all, for real. I'm tired of the same old. I just want to take us to the next level. I just want to be somebody that my moms could be proud of, somebody that another black person my age could be proud of, somebody that if I have kids, my kids could be proud of. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to kill the world. I just want to be in the world, make a little money in this world. Never wanted to be a gangster. I'm a thug, but I'm a nice person. I'm a thug by survival. I have to be to survive, not because I want to be. I don't want to hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? I want to survive. I want to make money. I want to be in business. I want to do it. But what's honest about the world is that no one's going to let me do that. So that's where the thug comes in. But if everybody just left me alone, I'd be a nice person. I'm quiet. I could be calm, quiet, and very into my work and totally focused and totally disciplined and boring. You know what I mean? Or I could be fun, but dangerous. Not only to other people, but to myself. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like a kid in a candy store. All of this is new. I'm 25, you know what I mean? And it's like, got cash, everything you dreamed of, and they've held me back in so many other circumstances that now it's your time to go. And it's kind of hard, difficult to keep yourself from just pressing the gas down all the way. Basically, just taking my time and thinking and analyzing situations and trying to think before I do things. I'm very passionate Geminis, you know, me and Prince and Gemini.
I like that.
Go ahead.
Welcome back to Black Life, your show for Black life, past, future.
I don't hear you.
I can hear you. I hear you. Past, future, and current news, music, sports, community, political perspectives important to Black life. We welcome everyone who wants to elevate, empower, and educate our Black community. Today, we have a very, I would say it's a kamikaze day today, because although our featured guest, Phil Smooth, was supposed to be here, unfortunately, he needs our prayers and uplifting thoughts. He was injured and had to be sent to the emergency room, you know, and the warrior that he is, he still would like to do the show, but we are going to continue to talk about some of the general things that we wanted to talk about. And luckily for us and our viewers, we have 2 distinguished young men that also are going to make a cameo pop-in appearance. Our first is not really somebody that we are unfamiliar with. He was a previous guest on our show. And he shared with us what he was working on.
Go through the other stuff.
Okay.
So we will. He was a guest on the previous show. We're gonna set up his thing and just talk about him in a little bit. But we're gonna see if we can get him on the line. But before we do that, I just want to say hello to everyone. Hello. This is Abby Dew. And thank you so much for tuning in. We just decided to pop in and talk about a few things that was on our mind. I pinned our Discord, the Noteworthy Discord, to the chat. So if you haven't joined the Discord yet, come hang out with us. Come talk to us. I have been hanging out in lives I had some time on my hands, so I've been seeing a bunch of you in various lives. It's been a thrill and so much fun to hang out with you in places and spaces other than our own. So yeah, let's keep that same energy going as we talk about what we're going to be discussing today, which is music, culture, social consciousness, and community leadership. Sounds like a lot. It does, but we're just gonna touch on each subject little by little as we push on through. So you want to start with your topics,
Our
and
topics
I'll
today?
set up Jacoby, but you go ahead and start with your topics, and that'll give me a little time to set up Jacoby.
I'm assuming when you say topics, you're talking about what we're going to talk about today?
Yes, your agenda. Yes.
Okay. Let's
Topics,
roll through.
agenda. Yeah.
All right.
Hi, Christopher. Christopher is he's been here a few times, but usually on Black Life. This is my my late night brother that I met in some of the chats where we talk about
Welcome, Christopher.
yes,
Thank you for popping in.
talk about indigenous Black Indians and Black Americans to this land. So we always have good conversations in those spaces. So it's good to see you here.
It's good to expand our reach and our opportunity to learn from others. So thank you again for being here. So today we're going to look at revisiting one of our previous guests, Mr. Jacoby Huntsberry. He's the author of The War Within.
I'm ready for that. I told you that already.
I know I'm going through. I'm just going through it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad.
So yeah, he's going to share with us. He has a great follow-up to The War Within. And I'm going to allow him to give an opportunity to announce what that follow-up is in a moment. After Mr. Jacoby, we are going to hopefully continue to uplift Phil Smooth in our prayers. I don't want to give too much about Phil Smooth because when he does have the opportunity to come on and meet with us, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to love everything that he has to offer and share with us. The same as all our guests. They always have a unique personality, one gifted talent or many gifted talents, and a love for their family and community. That's pretty much engulfing Black life, right? So I'm going to say Phil Smooth questions. We're going to talk about some legends and legacy. And that's when I'm going to bring on another one of my brothers from another mother, the genius, Dennis Johnson, who is one of my forever friends that I met while living in Austin, Texas. He's a DJ, he's a father, a husband, a community activist and leader, a multi-talented. I hang around with a lot of multi-talented people. I'm just telling you. So he'll pop in and tell us what's going on in Austin, Texas, on his end of town. And we're also, since all of these young men, are fathers, we're going to dive into talking about not only their legacy as a father and as a community activist, as a talented entrepreneurs, but we want to talk to them about their role as a father. And in today's age, how are they talking to their children about safety? How are they talking to them and communicate with them with what's going on in our world? And then we're going to roll into some perspectives from the other side. I have 3 celebrities that I greatly admire, and they all have lately voiced some opinions. Well, a couple of them have voiced opinions about Black life. I have a couple of videos from each of these men that I'd like to share and spark a conversation with you all.
Well, let's talk about who are these people first.
Oh, we want to know who the perspectives. Well, one of them is Mr. Tom Hanks. I know you all remember Forrest Gump. That's one of the classics. Mm-hmm,
I don't have that much respect for his son though.
Well, that's his kids. That's his kids.
I know. I'm just saying.
I know
out there.
But that's an interesting point you're making because
that apple. I mean, if Tom Hanks is who he claims he is, that apple fell far from that tree.
But hold up. There's some other conspiracies out there about Tom Hanks that I could explore on Noteworthy or one episode of Conspiracy on Black Life. It's a deeper story to Mr. Tom Hanks, but his comments that I saw recently is something that I would like to conversate about. And then we have Mr. What's his name on Breaking Bad? His name is Bryan Cranston. Kingston? I can't pronounce his last name.
I can't help you.
Okay, but anyway, he's the main character on Breaking Bad. I bet you Sean know who I'm talking about.
Cranston.
Anybody
His
in the
name is
chat?
Bryan Cranston.
Cranston.
Cranston. Yes.
All right, there we go. So yeah, he also has some comments that intrigued me, and I would like to hear what your thoughts are. And followed by my man Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has always been one of those free thinkers from day one, and I want to see if you guys have the same kind of opinions, right, of these men and their conversations about Black life from their perspective.
From a white man's perspective.
Hey, we all entitled to have a perspective, an opinion. You know what I mean? We observe a lot of stuff going on in this world today.
I'm just
And
making an observation.
Exactly. And observations leads into conversations. Conversations leads into changes.
And I have another one too after this one, so you can blind react to it. So let
Yes,
me pull
she
up.
does.
I'm going to pull up Tom Hanks first.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean did know. Sean was right on it. Bryan Cranston.
Yes, he did. So that's our show in a nutshell. We didn't plan to be on too long, but every time we do that, we end up in the 2-hour territory, right?
We're not doing that today.
We're not gonna do that today.
We're not
Well,
going to
let's
hold
see.
y'all too long.
I tell you what, if Phil Smooth comes on, we on. It's on. We talking.
You know what? Before let me just say this. I just got to say this.
Yes,
I appreciate you guys being here because I know Jimmy Dore is on live and he's like, he captures a lot of audience and stuff like that. I was watching his show the other day. It was live. That goddamn Kurt Metzger. Oh, he just got a punch.
I'm
in
not
the
a
face.
Kurt fan. I'm sorry.
He was so disrespectful talking about Juneteenth. Like it's a stupid holiday, and oh my God, I just wanted to punch him in his little fucking face. He's so arrogant. The way he talks about DEI and the funny thing is Jimmy Dore's audience was, they were on his ass, boy. They were like, oh, now you want to talk about Trump and like you're half the reason he got elected. And he was like, I never said to vote for Trump. I always said don't vote for Trump. I was like, yeah, but you were acting like Trump was so much better, but don't vote for him. Like nod, wink, wink, so he could do this and weasel his way out of it in the end. And he made a lot of money on that Trump grift. And all the people were calling him out for it. So I was happy to see that because he has gotten the audience captured a little bit, but he still does have lefties like me that are in his audience that are like, hey, bro, no, you need to be held accountable for that shit.
Mm.
Hi, John H. John H is in the house.
Yes. Welcome our loyal comrades in the chat room. I'm ready to hear some of your feedback on some of those videos and some of the conversations that we hope to start. So Are we going to go to
Tom Hanks?
Wait a second.
Yes.
We need to coordinate.
All right.
So we're going to watch Tom Hanks and then we're going to go to Jacoby.
No,
I
we
got
thought you
Jacoby
wanted to do all of it. Jacoby's on the line?
No,
I haven't put
he's
him on the line
waiting.
yet. Oh, he's waiting?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Let me double check.
just
but I
ask
think
him to
he
wait.
is. Oh, guess who messaged me, everyone?
Just ask him to wait. We need to get through this. He can't make it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
He's ready. He said there's an echo because of the mic. Hold up. I'm gonna put my mic up. Now it's better. Everybody in chat room, the sound's better. So Phil Smooth just gave me an update. He says he's waiting to be discharged. His finger is broken, but not his hand. So let's keep uplifting him in prayer. Make sure he heals good. Make sure it doesn't hurt him. and he can pop on with us a little later.
You're
All right.
gonna like that dude.
Yeah.
He's a conscious rapper, and he's actually Jacoby's cousin. So maybe I should just bring
Cousin.
Jacoby.
That's right.
Yes, cousin. So maybe I should just bring Jacoby on now, and then we could pivot to this. I guess I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like because
We'll come back to
the only
Tom
reason
Hanks.
I'm saying that is because he has a lot of people in his house right now. Is that correct?
Well, he has some other things going on, and he just has an opportunity to pop on and share this big announcement and this latest thing going on with him. And then we're gonna go transition into our next.
So you
guest.
need to pull up the YouTube channel. I'll show you what to do.
Pull it up on my end over here.
Yep.
Okay, so Jacoby, if you're there,
So here, how about this? While we're doing that and setting him up, we are going to start the Tom Hanks. We're going to have a little commentary about it.
yeah,
We're going to go to him, and then
So
we're going
we'll
to go
fill
back
in
to
the
the
gaps.
other one so we can fill in the gaps. We apologize for that, but that's what we got to do. Okay, so just stick with us, and we'll be right back.
I read a New York Times piece on a 100-year-old survivor of the Tulsa Massacre.
Hold on.
you muted me.
And my question was this. I read a New York Times piece on a 100-year-old survivor of the Tulsa Massacre.
You're not.
And my question was this. What's the Tulsa Massacre? You know, I was taught American history every 3 years growing up. 5th grade, 8th grade, what comes after 11th grade. And then I studied in junior college, and I've read it ever since for pleasure. How is it that it wasn't until 2 years ago that I heard about the Tulsa Massacre? How is that possible? I've heard about Custer's Little Bighorn. I heard about the Alamo. I heard about the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. I heard about all kinds of disasters in which people died. But I had never heard about this thing that happened in 1921, only 3 years before my dad was born. One of the most successful Black communities in America, Black Wall Street, in which everybody was not only burned out of their homes and their businesses, but then driven out of the city limits by an angry mob of, I'm sorry, white people. How is it that this was not taught to me? Because I tell you, at the age of 10, when I was in 5th grade, living in Oakland, California, that would have been a moment of enlightenment for me. And it made me mad. It made me mad that somebody had somehow made an editorial process of what was appropriate for us to learn about our own American history. It made me angry. And it took me 54 years in order to find this out. It's not right. It's not right. And it's doing a disservice to all of America.
But we also know, because one of the narratives people say is, oh, well, Black people just go out and pull themselves up from their own bootstraps. Stop asking for handouts. Well, people in Tulsa, they did that with Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was a thriving town, not just a Black town, but just a town, one of the wealthiest places. And of course, we know that almost in an instant, 300 people were killed, 35 blocks destroyed, all of those businesses, banks, homes destroyed. People fled and their land was taken over. And it's not just Tulsa. There are other Black Wall Streets as well. East St. Louis, where up to 200 were killed, 6,000 ended up being homeless, 300 businesses destroyed. We could go to Rosewood, Florida, 150 deaths. As you can see, that was in the paper. Whites gathered for miles to slay Negroes. Last Negro homes raised in Rosewood, literally just wiping them out. And then, of course, we could even go to Detroit. 34 killed, including 16 police officers, $28 million in damage, where white people did not want Black people to move in. So we see no matter what we're talking about, whenever Black people have created these spaces, we continue to see how it plays out. And of course, there are other cities, even more recently, that we could highlight that have had, in many ways, race riots, particularly after the assassination or around the assassination of King. And also we can think about the Kennedys, from Rochester, New York to Watts, California, Chicago, Cleveland. I mentioned Detroit, Newark.
Wow, that was very dramatic at the
That
end.
Wasn't that a dramatic ending? But Jacoby, we're still working on how to exactly connect you, and that's an alternative way. So just give us some grace.
I mean, we still have to comment on what we just saw. So there's a little time.
Yeah, I'm saying that he could. Yeah. So, what you guys think? Do you believe Tom Hanks when he said that he has never heard of Tulsa?
I do.
You believe him?
I mean, how do you keep racism alive, and how do you keep people dehumanized? Like they never accomplish anything, and they need white people to survive on this land. If you don't suppress all of their successes, how do you do that? How is it possible?
I don't know, but Nahilo agreed. He said he doubted his sincerity. Chris says it was not originally known as Black Wall Street, but actually Negro Wall Street, in which these my people are the American Indians who moved there after the Trails of Tears. Interesting. Well, I found it interesting because I didn't believe him. I don't believe people with access to information are not curious by nature. And just like the other videos that we're going to share with you, if you lived in America before I was born, then you realize the atrocities that Black people have experienced, right? And you realize some of the history, some of the things that should make antennas go up. And I'm saying money gives access to nothing but knowledge, hidden or otherwise.
Try to send him that invite.
What's your invite?
Right there. Down there. Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. So I'm gonna counter, not because I'm trying to take up for Tom Hanks, but a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. Like you don't know how to look for stuff unless you are like going down a rabbit hole, like you really, really, really are thirsty for information and you just like continuously go down the rabbit hole of the internet or search for books and stuff like that. Like you might not find it. Like a lot of people, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. So a lot of people always talk about Tulsa. So of course, people know what Tulsa is now, right? People understand the Tulsa massacre. They've researched it a little bit, but do they know that there have been like over 100 massacres in this country? So here's an example of a few on the East Coast. Like, do people who know about Tulsa know about all of these? You got to ask yourself, do people know that Central Park was taken by force? It was Seneca, and it was taken by force to build Central Park for the rich white people? Do people know that?
Can I speak? I understand this. I understand that if you want to find significant detailed information like this, you have to go deep down and search for it because that's you that want it. But I'm saying Tom Hanks, just like everybody that lives in America, was exposed to the treatment of Black people in some different form or fashion. I'm not saying he had a detailed list like you have produced and shared with our viewers. I'm saying the mere fact that he has visited many places and seen many things. Not once have you been curious to really find out what's going on, man. And as old as your ass is, you gonna come up and say some shit like that?
Okay,
I don't like it, and I don't believe it.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, I can give you an example.
Yes, Philly police did blow up a whole block.
If I'm just speaking.
No, I was reading Randall's
I know. I was going to mention that. A lot of people don't know that.
It's called the move.
They dropped a bomb on Black people. A lot of people don't know that. Like they dropped a bomb on American citizens on American soil. A lot
And
of
they
people
also
don't know that.
flooded. Okay.
I know you're excited. But let me
I
finish
get
my.
passionate. I'm sorry. And that's how I felt watching these videos.
When we were, I don't know if it was Black Life or if it was Noteworthy. When I went through the fact that a lot of the lakes in the United States have towns. There were black towns underneath
It was
them.
Black
What
Life
happened?
early.
What happened to us? There we go. Yeah, they had towns underneath there of black people. Lake Lanier has to be the one that is most that people know about. Like it's kind of like the Tulsa of lakes. But there are so many lakes in the United States that this has happened to, and that it's a pristine town underneath it. They just ran all of those people out. Well, killed, raped, pillaged, burned, but there's like homes and stuff under those, like deep down under those lakes. They just threw water on top of it and act like it never existed. And those who write history are those who conquered. So how could you know if you don't know where to look to get the information? So I'm not saying he's innocent, but I guess I'm not just speaking for Tom Hanks. I'm kind of speaking for the United States in general, the ignorance of the United States in general, I guess.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the effort that they're putting to erase our history, that feeds into why I'm mad at Tom Hanks about this, and whoever else feel like they don't know shit. You know, I can't believe you see what's going on and how hard they're trying to erase even life-changing accomplishments.
Did you send him the thing?
Yes, I sent it to him.
Okay.
Jacoby, if you're having issues, you can let me know. I sent you the link, so hopefully you can try that. But my problem, like I'm saying, stop trying to wipe out. If they just imagine if they succeed and wipe out Maya Angelou, who else? Thurgood Marshall. They are because they removing books. They're removing history.
Not on white people. What are you talking about?
I'm not saying all white.
Michelangelo? Why would they do that? What's their incentive to do that?
I didn't say Michelangelo.
You did. You did say him.
Oh, that's what I said?
Yes.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
So let me give you an example.
I said Maya Angelou.
No, you didn't.
But that's what I meant.
Okay. It's Maya Angelou.
Angelou?
But
Okay.
Michael and
Excuse me.
So Christopher, let me give you this example. Okay. Because Christopher is, that's my brother from another mother. In Egypt right now, they are trying to convince us that the Egyptians that are there today are the same Egyptians that were there during the time of the pyramids being built and all of that, the schools and the civilization. They're trying to erase our history, and they're Jacqueline said she heard Maya Angelou, so my bad.
Jacoby Specs.
I sure thought you said Michelangelo. My bad. All right, I apologize. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Rondo. Keep me honest, okay? I really did get that wrong. But I think Egypt just received some artifacts back from, who was it? I can't remember what country that stole them. Was it the Netherlands? Anyway, if you look at the artifacts, they're clearly Black people. But since all of that stuff was pillaged and taken away, a lot of that information is in, if you travel, because I've traveled to Europe a couple of times, they have paintings of Black Jesus. They have sculptures of the Black Madonna. They have paintings of the Black Madonna. They have all kind of artifacts from Africa that clearly shows, like in Egypt, all that clearly shows these were Black people. But if you haven't traveled, which Tom Hanks has, so he should know better.
My
But
point.
yes, that's your point. Yes. So I digress. And we're gonna put a pin in it. Rondo says they've been doing it for over 2,000 years. Yes, we're gonna put a pin in it because we have a very special guest that has been on Black Life before. While you, I don't think I didn't have time to.
You have pull that up.
I got it. I'm gonna pull him up. He's been on. Go ahead and introduce him.
Oh, now she throws it back to me. You see, Jackie. I want you to
I
notice.
see that shade.
Jackie, just notice how she expects me to be ready and mind reading at the same time. Okay, now you just switched the thought and you're telling me keep on. I will. This is a great opportunity to learn and grow. Right?
I don't know what you're talking about. This girl's pity pat fighting over the she pity pat fighting. Okay, here we go.
Who is Marlo World?
Hi, Marlo.
Hi, Marlo. Thanks for
Marlo's
popping
been here
in.
before.
I appreciate you. Nahila. Okay, here we go. So as I was saying, Jacoby was a previous guest of ours when he introduced us to the war within him. I want him to continue to give us a little bit of how's it been since he's written the book. Has he had any conversations? Has he been to speak at any engagements about the book yet? And if not, we're definitely planning it. So without further ado, I would like to reintroduce himself. Mr. Jacoby.
Hey.
Hi, Jacoby.
Thank you so much for the short notice and just being able to come in.
Right. It's never on our time. It's always on God's time. So I just show up and be a willing vessel.
There you go.
And I appreciate you reaching out to me.
No problem. I really was glad to see that you were sharing our show today. And I'd like to let our audience know that you and Phil are related.
Yeah. The thing is, if you didn't know we were related and you saw us on the basketball court, then you would know because man, his shot is filthy.
Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna brag on myself, but his shot is filthy, man. That's why I hope it's not the finger on his good hand.
Right. I know what you mean. I know he'll heal. He's young.
Right.
He got that.
That's right.
In our prayers, we lifting him. He's gonna be all right. But
He's gonna be all right.
Exactly. One thing you guys have in common is that you guys are multi-talented. I don't know if that runs in your family line or whatever, but you guys offer the community some of the best examples of young Black men that I know personally.
Right. I don't know where it come from. I think we just get to the point where it's gotta be done by any means necessary. And anything we try, we end up being good at it. So I'm not gonna say we're great at it, but we do good enough.
I feel that. So today, you're coming with us today to share some good news, right?
I am. It wasn't just the war within him. After people read the war within him, they kept. One person told me not to act like Tyler Perry and have her waiting for the next one.
Okay.
So it was funny because I had been working on the next one, and man, it's just the feedback I'm getting from it already. The War Within Her is, man. All I can say is get y'all pens ready.
Awesome, awesome. Can you do me a favor? Because we have a
Mm-hmm.
couple of guests that wasn't able to catch you when you were on here last time. Can you give him a little bit of snippet of what the War Within Him? What's the premise of it?
So the War Within Him, uh, it was written 15 years ago. I sat on it for a while. It's based on uh a lot of stuff that I went through in my life, but it's not only me. I'm not the only one that went through this stuff. I know there's a lot of men who can relate to some of the stories that's being told in that book. Uh,
Uh,
we, as men, we have a tendency to swallow things instead of talking.
right.
We think people don't want to hear what we have to say, or we feel like I don't want to be soft. I'm a man. I don't want people to judge me. And uh it's funny because the what got me into writing was when I was younger, a person told me I'm talking too much and I'm complaining too much. They didn't want to hear that. So you don't have to hear it. Now you're gonna read it.
I feel you. That's your
I like
outlet,
that.
right? So
Right.
I feel where you're coming from the perspective, because you're a male. Do you think that your book could be a tool that Black fathers or any fathers can use to have conversations about life with their sons and daughters?
Absolutely. Because it's not just men. Like
Okay,
as parents, we are not given the instruction manual. So I look at
right.
that book as sort of an instruction manual. And man, the stuff that men go through that can help the little boy on the corner, the the little
Me,
girl that's looking for attention. It can help everybody, even an older person that don't know how to word what they had been dealing with.
that's exactly what I was about to say. Because what I'm doing right now, like my presentations to K through 12 graders and some adults, what I find is a lot of times people can't find their own words to express what they're feeling and going to deal with. They already have to deal with the embarrassment or, you
Right.
know, just the insecurity to share it. Now I got to find words to say it. So
Right.
your books is basically the tool that's the missing element. So as they read through it, they can gain the words and the vocabulary of how to express, what they're going through and how it relates to
Exactly.
something that their children could potentially experience. So I just
Yes.
want to say, I appreciate that.
I appreciate you for appreciating it because sometimes it's I say that because coming from Abbeville, this small town, you do something that can help somebody and there's people who don't want to receive it because oh, he grew up in Abbeville, he grew up right around the corner from me, I know the real
Right.
him. No, you don't. Read the book, you'll see the real me.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jacoby, my co-host for Noteworthy says that you have a really good point. Um, we absorb often more than we share back.
It's true. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
this presentations on mental health and different different stages that we all as humans feel, people are so reserved and shy or fearful to get the tools, like he's just said, that they really need. They don't have that confidence or courage to go beyond the fear.
Right.
It takes things like your book and your outreach about your book, like I still plan when school restarts to invite you in to talk to some of my students in the groups that I present to. So I hope that you're willing and ready to do that this school year.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. So what do you want to tell us about the war within her?
Can't pull it up.
Because I don't want you to give it all away. I want our listeners and potential listeners who will listen to the recording to check it out. So what are some things that you want them to look for, or what do you want to highlight about the war within her?
There's a lot that goes on in a female's mind. I can't say that personally, but me being an observant person, like I just sit back wishing that I could do something to help them, let them know, hey, I see you. You don't have to put up this brick wall. So I wrote The War Within Her because I was tired of watching women bleed in silence.
Mm.
And like the book is not about trauma, it's about getting over that trauma. It's about the wars that women fight daily. Because I've always said that the strongest thing in the world is a black woman. I don't think too many people heard me when I said that, but it's true. The strongest thing in the world is a black woman.
I'm definitely not going to argue with that point.
And you know what?
This is what I want to ask.
Oh, I was just gonna say what we're trying to combat right now are all the podcasts that are like propping up other women at the expense of black women. Like if you have a preference, if you want to be a passport bro, if you want to date white women, if you want to date Asian women, that's fine. Go do it. But you don't have to put down black women to make an excuse for your wanting to date someone. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like leave us alone. You could go. Bye.
That's a great
peace be with
conversation. Future conversation. I would love to elaborate on that a little bit more. But in the respective time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to keep you too much longer. I wanted to ask this question to you. Did you have any sources, female sources, that you pulled from, that you used to write this new book? I know you are a girl dad, right? And this information is going to be very valuable and important to your daughter's life.
But she's still a girl. She's not a woman.
I know. I'm saying she's her.
I know. I wanted to ask this question too. So good.
About who he's pulling from?
Right.
Okay.
Because is it the war within a woman from a man's perspective, or did you get like mentoring and advice from women?
Yeah, like firsthand accounts.
Right.
I would say it's firsthand accounts because I was married, going through something, and every day seeing something new messing with her, and all I can do is just give her a hug. That wasn't enough. Second, I talk to my grandmother a lot. She went through a lot and she tells me a lot, so I kind of pull from that. But also, I used to work in mental health, and the stuff that these women deal with, a pill won't fix it. Sometimes listen to them, because just like they have trouble expressing what's going on with them, we have trouble too as men, and we need to come to a comfortable agreement. And even if we agree to disagree, we still need to come to an agreement. And I really don't know how to say that, but something needs to be done. because as strong as a black woman is, she's always going to be looked at in a different light by society, and that's something that she has to combat every day. Okay, yeah, I'm strong enough to deal with this, but social media is making me look like I'm weak.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of stuff, but most of the characters in this book, they were pulled from having conversations with people
Real
in
people.
mental health.
Yeah.
I'm really
I
big
really agree
on
with that.
mental health.
So am I. Abby do. I mean, that's part of our framework of doing things. We have a mental health break for women and teen girls that's coming up. I want to include you in it. I'm gonna talk to you about it after this show. I'll call you and see how, because it's gonna be in Lafayette next month. So I would like to let you present The War Within Her. Well, we can talk more about that later, okay?
We can, but we know what the answer is going to be anyway. So
Absolutely, absolutely. But Jacoby, I thank you for popping back
Before you-
in with us.
Before you let him go, I just want to just get some of the chats, just so he'll, he hears what people are saying. So
Okay.
Nahila Nostrum says that is basically the crux of all the issues, Jacoby. We can only get away with agreeing to disagree for so long.
Mhm. Oh, that's
Sean says mental health is actual health.
That's right.
And Jacqueline says it's great that Black women are strong and resilient, but why do we have systems that require them to be that way? Oh,
wow,
she said a word.
that's
Come on,
profound.
Jacqueline. Come on, Jacqueline. That was profound. Because
You know what?
the big thing that they say about us is Black women are too masculine.
Mhm.
And well, the system requires us to be masculine in order to survive. Like, of course, we want to be feminine. Those women who are feminine presenting, because not all women of any race, all of them want to be feminine. Some of them want to explore their masculine side more than their feminine, which is fine. But for those who want to be feminine and are pushed into a more form of masculinity to guard themselves and protect themselves from society, then that's an issue, because you're breaking down her
Survival.
life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You are tearing her down from the person that she wanted to be and become, and that we need to talk about.
One thing that
I had never thought about it from that point of view.
That's awesome. I know a lot of, I can't say all, but I so want to. All women need is to feel safe and respected. And then, as much as I say that, there'll be a woman to argue with me like, that's not what I want. I want,
No,
So
I feel like that's all people, right?
that's all people. But I'm mainly saying, girls, like he's saying, when you become a young woman and a woman, you want to be protected. You want to have somewhere safe that you can turn as you are growing up and learning and dealing with all these different types of relationships and emotions. You don't want to talk and share with people and they use that shit against you. You know what I mean?
You know what? You're a little more masculine than most, and I'm glad you just said that, because Sean says that's all humans, and and I've heard men say that you can't share too much because they'll use it against you. So, like, being masculine is not tantamount to not having emotions and being able to express your emotions. That's not what masculinity is. And that's not what femininity is. That's what being a human is. That's what mental health is. And too many times we put on men the burden of not being able to be emotional, to be vulnerable, because then they get called, something less than masculine, which is wrong. So that we have to look at it from both sides. We all have work to do.
All right, so I want to thank you, Mr. Jacoby, and stay close to that phone because we will be in touch. appreciate your time, man. I really do appreciate it. And if you get to see Phil before I see him,
Oh.
give him a hug.
He out.
Oh, he's out?
Yes. he's
All
out.
right. All right. So we do have another guest, but I want to jump into the Breaking Bad Mr. Brian
What?
video, the
Oh,
other video before Jim Carrey's last.
I know.
Okay, well, thank you, Connie.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
Good job. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. And I'm sure Mr. Jacoby is also. Because we definitely going to dive into this book with some young teens next school year. What's up, Mastermind? Thank you for popping in.
And Jimmy.
And Jimmy, I'm not familiar with you, Mr. Jimmy. Your name threw me. I thought Jimmy Dore was popping in here. I was about to say, hey, man, hold up.
I like this comment.
But let me check on our other guests as we watch this next video.
We have another guest?
Yeah.
His cousin? Oh, he's able to come?
No, not him. Mr. Genius.
That's Jacoby.
Mute.
I just stop. Go ahead, Jacoby's in the background. You gonna tell him something?
No, we're just gonna. You're welcome to chime in as we continue to go throughout the rest of our agenda. Do you have anything else that we might have missed that you'd like to share?
He's not on there. That's what I'm saying. He's in the background. You want me to pull him up?
I'm gonna touch base with him after the.
So we're gonna go to the next one of the three with the perspectives, and we'll catch you on the other side.
You got into a tussle recently with Bill Maher about critical race theory and wokeness. When you look at the political discourse in our country today and the role that media plays in it, what do you think?
It's difficult to try to find truly unbiased reporting, news that really is straight shooters. You know, this conversation I had with Bill, we're talking about critical race theory, and I think it's imperative that it's taught, that we look at our history much the same, I think, that Germany has looked at their history in involvement in the wars that they 1 and 2, and embrace it and say, this is where we went wrong. This is how it went wrong. This is why it can't go wrong again. And I think they have done a very commendable job in doing so, but the United States really hasn't. You present it and say, well, 400 years of slavery, yeah, but we're moving on. And it's like, no, let's really discuss it. How did that happen? How did we get to a point where we treated other human beings as slaves, and we're okay with that? When I see the Make America Great Again, my comment is, do you accept that could possibly be construed as a racist remark? And most people, a lot of people go, how could that be racist? Make America great again? I said, so just ask yourself from an African-American experience, when was it ever great in America for the African-American? When was it great? So if you're making it great again, it's not including them. So it's to teach us in the woke world to open up and accept the possibilities that our privilege has created blind spots for us. And maybe I haven't seen what is really happening yet in all my years.
The number one food for regular BMs, huh? Okay, let's see.
Your mic's open. Hold
Okay,
on.
cool.
My clicker doesn't click that fast. So
That's
I think one thing I want to say is we put in Jacoby's his link to catch his book is on the screen, and I'm also going to put it in the comments. So if you guys are interested in going to take a look. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm doing it again. I already hit enter.
Okay.
So it's in there 3 times. I feel like we kind of covered this in Noteworthy. By the way, Noteworthy is going to be here tomorrow, Thursday, 5 p.m. Central. For those of you who have not
this
seen
particular
it before.
video.
No, not
Oh,
the
okay.
video. We cover when has America ever been great, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nahilo, but I feel like we came up with the Gilead Age. And it wasn't great for that many white folks either at that time. So it was only great for oligarchs. So once again, uneducated, racist white people are being fooled. And they don't realize that Make America Great Again includes them being down at the bottom along with us. So,
You know what it does remind me of also? They have several little spoofy videos on social media where they have 2 white people talking, and one person is telling the other person about all of the tax breaks and all of these good things that these bills will do. And then the other person asks, but are they going to do that? Or is it going to help black people? And then the other
they're
person
like,
says,
well, we
no,
don't want
I
it.
don't want it. But it's healthcare. No, that's going to help
know.
them. I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't believe. Do you believe that people really feel like that? I mean, like really?
Yeah.
Like you would rather sacrifice yourself just for the hate you feel in your heart for another person?
Yeah, I do.
That's some cold shit. That's some horrible stuff.
I absolutely do.
I mean, I just can't believe that. But then again, they didn't treat us as humans or think we were human. I will never get over that. So, shit, I might as well believe it.
So while she's introducing the next guest who has popped in, and I apologize for that. I can't see our agenda anymore. I'd have to like shut down all of everything I have up, and we don't want to go through that. So I'm just gonna thug it, okay? But for those of you who haven't seen our pin in the comments section, go ahead and join the Noteworthy Discord if you haven't already. We'd love to have you there. We have, discussions in there as well. So go ahead, check it out. And who do we have here?
Up next, Black Life, we have a legend in his own right. Like I said, I met this young gentleman in Austin, Texas. I moved to Austin to be a director of a Boys and Girls Club. And right when I was leaving Louisiana, I had just started learning about the radio and had aspirations to be a team radio DJ host, something like that. So then I moved to Austin for a great opportunity. And I called him my Snoop Dogg. He was so smooth when he came into the club to register his children. And lo and behold, he was a DJ. He had a team radio show, and he invited me to learn about it. So I will feel like this man is family for life. He helped me grow and learn and network in Austin, and he helped me to fulfill one of my bucket list things of learning about the radio. He's a father, a husband, a DJ, a community activist and leader. He is the genius, Mr. D. Welcome, Mr. D. Welcome.
How you doing, Miss Tasha?
Man, I miss that Miss Tasha, man. You're looking good, brother.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. I know it's been some time. I think the last time I had hair way down there, huh?
Yeah, you did. You did. I have a picture, but she can't pull it up because it's old.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
you
I'm
still
quite
the
all right
king.
with them home pictures. It's still me.
That's still you forever,
It's
right?
still me.
So, why don't you tell our guests and our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, like you said, I am a husband and a father. First. Um, After that, I extend and I become a resource to everybody else. I do that through the community in various different ways. I think when we crossed paths, I was volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club at that moment. Um, I stayed on the east side, and the reason I actually started volunteering up there before you is Mr. David. And I started volunteering up there because I would send my boys up there and they would always get into it. And so I needed to go up there to see what was going on. And so I just decided to start playing ball with all the kids. So we started getting more into organized playing together. And from there, I realized that more needed to happen at the Boys and Girls Club. Um, my initial uh, introduction to community work came through volunteering at the radio station that you're talking about, and that's KZI. We actually just moved from the Wall Street location that you're familiar with over to ACC, which is where Highland Mall used to be.
Okay.
So we literally just had the ribbon cutting on yesterday. All of those
Congratulations.
things. Hey, we appreciate it. All those things that you remember seeing when you were here along the east side, I think the only thing that's still there right there is probably Booker T. Um, they've come through
Really?
and switched up a lot of things. I mean, yeah, it's been some definite changes. We have bike lanes, we have stop signs, we have dog parks.
What?
We have all those
Hey,
things
y'all
that we
have
really wish we would have had when we were there with our kids. But
right?
what initially got
Austin
me
has grown.
Austin has grown and it has definitely changed when you walk amongst the east side. It's not what you would remember at all. I started
You know what I think?
volunteering. What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off, Mr. D.
Nah,
One
you
thing that
good?
I noticed is that it was already starting to look gentrified
Mm-hmm.
on the east side when I left.
Yeah.
That first part when you're coming off the interstate,
Mm-hmm.
they had started changing everything right there. Like they used to have a soul New Orleans style little restaurant or little shop that had went away before I left. It was like major stuff was happening. So you telling me that Booker T is the only familiar thing that I see if I drive down there?
If you drive over there, the area will look familiar, but you got little condos, you got little. It's gonna look different.
See what I mean?
The hill we used to slide down on the cardboard is not. It's no longer a hill there. It's no longer ALC right there. So all those things that you would remember are not there. When we did our Youth Against Violence marches and all those things, Oak Springs is still there, but the
Okay.
Boys and Girls Club is not there.
Right. You guys also used to do what I really want to ask is how was Juneteenth? Because that's where I really learned a lot about Juneteenth. There's a museum right that was right down the block from the Boys and Girls Club that
You
did
you
like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you're talking about the Carver, George Washington Carver Museum. We actually celebrated there. We hosted part of the event. They went from 12 to 10, had artists, food. It was a car show. We had a blast. It was people loving on each other as it should be, celebrating as we should. And showing each other a good time. So that's pretty much what we did on Juneteenth. It was a definite blast.
That's what I remember. I remember
Yeah,
like you say, people loving on each other. It
that's
wasn't
that's
worrying
exactly
about
what
any
it was.
violence. Like it was
Mhm.
culture, it was history. It meant a lot to me to be a part of that, man. I'm not even lying.
Hey,
So those changes you
you are
said,
instrumental. You are instrumental in a lot of the things that I started doing. You talk about how much I influenced you. Mr. David gave me my first break at being able to come up there and volunteer, but you opened the doors and allowed me to bring the resources through the door, allowed me to bring the radio through the door, and that was a big game changer back then, as nobody was reaching our kids, and nobody was giving us an opportunity to do those things. And so you came in with fresh eyes and an open heart, and that allowed a whole lot to happen.
man, I really did love the fact I didn't know anybody in Austin. And
Hmm.
just a couple of months, I grew like an extended family. It was a beautiful thing to be a part of. Like in my memory, we host one of the biggest events at the East Boys and Girls Club, right? You remember that community event we did together?
We did, and it went on for 5 years. The last year we did it, we marched from Oak Springs Elementary, and we marched all the way to Keelan.
What?
We did a big community dinner. I had a buddy of mine who has a restaurant, so we got people to donate turkeys, and so we smoked turkeys. Because remember we did it around November, so we had a big
Right.
community dinner, uh, face painting. It was the whole nine. But we kicked it off with the Youth Against Violence March. We just extended it from just going up the hill to all the way to Keelan. And guess
That's
what?
what I'm
We are
talking
going
about.
to bring it back. We're going to bring it back. It's not going to be the Youth Against Violence March. It's going to be Youth on It, first annual pep rally. So we're going to be doing a back to school pep rally August the 9th.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I want to know this, man. How can we create a bridge to connect your teens and your community to over here where I'm at now? Because that's what I always want to build. I don't know if you've been looking on my page, but I created a couple of businesses that I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to grow. Mamba Mania being one of them.
I
It
see.
basically is, yeah. It's like a combination of what we used to do. It's giving me a chance to go into different classrooms, churches, and other youth organizations to teach them about bullies, and teach them about cyberbullying, because that's one of the big things, you know what I mean? And
Right,
also self-care and emotional intelligence.
right.
All of
All
that
those
kind of stuff.
things,
But
they all tie together in a lot of what the gentleman was talking about before. And it starts with the kids. It starts with how we raise our little boys and how we raise our little girls. Uh, when our little
Mhm.
boy falls down, do we pick him up and make sure he's okay, or do we tell him to brush it off and suck it up? You know. Uh, do we just go grab the little girl, automatically pick her up because she's the little girl? So it's all in the subtle messages on how we raise and how we bring up our little people and what they see uh, those roles are supposed to be within the community and within the family. The dynamic is what's important. They need to see healthy males in their life. They need to see healthy
Mhm.
females in their life, so that they can understand that there's more to model after and than what they're going to see on TV. When we were growing up, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have all that. Uh,
Mm-mm.
However, with the access everyone has at their fingertips now, it's so easy uh, to get things. And so if we're not giving our kids those things from home or through the community, then be careful where they receive them.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that caveat at the end. Be careful where they receive them. They're not getting them from you
They gonna go
So
ask
you
questions.
because they're gonna seek it, and it might
They
be
gonna
exactly.
see it.
and it
So it's
might be
up to
the
us to
wrong,
not sugarcoat.
And
the
so
wrong
that
intentions.
that leads me into my question.
Hmm.
How do you a father of, like, that's one thing that all of you guys have in common that have been on with us today. and even
Uh-huh.
Phil. Y'all great fathers, man. Y'all great examples, positive examples of black men that I know in my life personally. So when you're talking with your kids, Phil has all sons, Jacoby has a daughter, you have a mixture of daughter and sons and grandkids, right? How
Correct.
do you guys approach conversations about safety?
About
Like, how do you
safety.
talk to them about keeping themselves safe within their community, within their schools? Like, how do you prepare them for what's out there from a parent perspective?
I talk to them about themselves. In life, you can only control two things. That's what you do and what you say. Those are the only two things you can control. Outside of that, everything else becomes a compromise. And so I try to equip uh, my kids and any other kids I come in contact with. As you know, my daughter is my oldest, and then I have my three boys. However, at the Boys and Girls Club, we adopted about 12 of those kids that came to our house, and still we stay in touch with them. We still have three of them that two call me Paw, and the other one called me Daddy. So we raised the whole family based off of what we were doing back then, and I teach them all the same thing: is that it starts with you. Our most powerful weapon we have sits between our two ears, and so you have to take a moment to reflect about where you are. Everybody has emotions. Everybody's going to feel something. The key is how you react to that feeling, or how you react to that emotion that comes up. So I teach them to just take a moment, step back. I know sometimes it's harder, or easier said than done, but you got to always be able to step back so that you're not acting off of emotion. So when something arises, try to find a way to go within yourself to see how you should respond to that. Control those two things that you can control. That's what you do and what you say. You can't control how anybody else approaches you. You can't control what anybody else says to you. But you can control how they treat you and how they approach you based off of what you can control. So I teach them to be respectful to themselves first, understand where their tolerance levels are, so that they don't put themselves in predicaments that they don't want to be in. I used to hear my mama say, "Don't get something that don't belong to you." We walk around stressed all the time. We walk around frustrated all the time, and or we walk through life. You never know what anybody's going through. And so it doesn't take much sometimes to push somebody over the edge. So only thing you can monitor is what you do in a situation. I'm never going to tell my kids to be bullied or to bully. I'm going to always teach them to stand up for themselves, to do it appropriately, and to stand up for others, and whatever that looks like. I'm not going to ask anybody to put themselves in danger. That's not for everybody to be trying to do. So if that means walk away, that means walk away. If that means call for help, that means call for help. So I teach my kids to respond the best way that's going to get them to safety. And in the world we're dealing with, it has to start with them, because you never know what they're going to encounter.
That's right. Hey, man, I love that perspective. As a parent, as a black man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And creating that dialogue where your children feel safe to come and talk to you, that's also key. Because if they're afraid to talk to you for whatever reason, it could be disappointment, it could be fear of getting hurt by you, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? To create that safe, welcome, open arms, come talk to me about what's going on. Because we got to remember, like you said, if you're not talking to them, somebody else talking to them, or something on social media is talking to them. It might be misleading them, right?
I
I
like
heard y'all talking. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I really like what Nahila Norsham has to say right here about avoid meaningless suffering, because there might be someone who's, say, road rage or whatever. That person might be suffering that day, and they're just looking for a reason. They're looking for someone, and you could,
or a victim.
You can engage with them, and you might end up getting killed, or you could just keep driving And in your own car, just be like, what the hell is wrong with this? You know,
Yeah,
say
your
whatever
own
you need
safety.
to say to yourself, but don't get yourself riled up and absorb this person's energy and feed it back to them and just continue to escalate it. Because is it worth it? Some people in life don't have anything to lose.
Right.
And you don't know who they don't wear that information on their forehead.
And nowadays, it doesn't matter what age that person is. I don't know about Austin as far as young kids and guns, but here in our area, it's on the rise like crazy, man.
I think
I
it's because
mean, it's the same.
keep
It's the same
having
everywhere.
young people keep having kids, and then their kids are young having kids, and it's like you haven't had a chance to grow up and get an understanding, and you're trying to give the information you have, which is very minimal,
Which is limited.
very limited and minimal,
It's limited.
to a young mind growing up. I mean, there's parents and grandparents out here crashing out. I mean, the grandparents are like 40, 45.
Right.
Like, whoa.
So, Mr. D,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
some great information you give our parents and fathers out there. I don't want to get bogged down into that kind of conversation. I want to talk about what's exciting that's going on in your career right now. Did I see you guys? Y'all have a weekly show also? Like, what's new that's going on?
Well, for me, I started DJing in 1990. I became a radio personality in 1990. So I just celebrated 35 years of
Congratulations.
KZI. Appreciate it. I started there in high school. I was actually shy to come on and start talking. My first radio name was the Unknown DJ because I would go on, I would just play music and I wouldn't talk. So I actually had the audience name me. Probably about 6 months to a year after being on. All my folks knew who I was because I tell them, hey, I'm gonna be on the radio from this time to this time, so they knew to listen. But if you didn't know that I was up there, you probably didn't know I was on the air till about 6 months to a year later. I got the name. I loved the name Genius, and so I kept it. I was going between three. I can't even remember what the other two were. It's been so long ago. But that's what connected me to doing community work too. How they all combined was the radio, volunteering for 35 years, giving your time, giving the most precious thing that you have to help uplift others. Is a testimony within itself, and so I'm blessed to be able to do that. Exciting for me. I've always had a radio show up there. I think when we met, I was the coordinator of the teams up there, and so I was working with the young people, and I was doing that simply because that's how I started off in radio, and so I wanted that to continue. I was given a break. It kept me out of trouble. And so I wanted to be that same resource for others. But that wasn't the only thing I was doing during that time. I also had other radio shows, and one of those is called Untapped. And that's a radio show where we play nothing but independent artists.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the one you're talking about. So that's been around for 14 years now. Actually, in 1990, I started the first radio show on KZI that played Austin artists. That was called A-Town Spotlight. And then in 2011, I brought it back and just changed the name to The Untapped Show. And instead of focusing on Austin artists, because back then we had 8 tracks, we had records, we had CDs. That's how we listen to music back then, reel to reels. Now we're all digital, so now we have everything digital. There's no more packing stuff and doing all of that. But this show is specifically designed to highlight the independent artists, no matter what genre of music you play. So we've played opera, jazz, blues, country, Tejano, rock, you name it, we'll play it as long as it's radio ready. We play spoken word, we play comedy. We allow producers to submit their beats, and we allow DJs to come up and mix. So we really just provide a platform for the independent artists to showcase and do their things. I have a team of about 10, and they are combined of independent artists and other creative minds out in the community. They have their own segments where they come on and talk about whether it's the business aspect of music, whether it's the artists themselves and how music got them out of what it is that they're in or were in. It just encompasses a whole lot. And so I kind of sit back and watch everybody roll. I sit in the background now. 2021, I ended up with cancer, so that's why all my dreadlocks went. And so I've been in remission for 3 years now. Yeah, so I just been laying in the background and watching my team work. I am starting a new project called.
Oh, keep us in suspense.
Wait.
Guys that I know. Say again.
Can you tell us that again?
The new project, you froze it.
What's your project?
Just as you were about to say it.
Okay, I'm looking on the other thing. I see my mouth wide open over there. It's called. It's gonna be called Daddies Like Us. It's gonna be a calendar that comes out. It's gonna run from June to June. It'll focus on strictly on dads that look like us. It'll highlight their businesses out in the community. Things like that. I know some dads that are chefs, so I'm gonna have them do like throw in tips for quick snacks, quick lunches and stuff like that for after school. Maybe my teacher dads will give some tutoring tips. My dads that do fitness stuff will be able to give quick exercises and stuff like that. So it'll be a calendar that will be focused on highlighting the dad, so look out for that. It'll be coming soon. We're going to be starting shooting those pictures here pretty soon.
You know what I want to say, man?
What's that?
I miss you so much.
I miss you too.
I don't know if our audience here, I got chills right now because that's the kind of stuff I love being a part of.
Read that.
I love being a part of it.
Yeah.
One of our viewers said, "Beautiful idea. You are true to your name."
Yes.
And look, I want to tell you what Jacoby said. Jacoby's in my chat. He said, "I would like to meet this man, pick his brain." A lot of what he's saying is what he's mentioning in his book, The War Within Him.
Yeah.
Right. He's written 2 books, and possibly a third on the way. But he's the kind of young man, just like Phil, that I wanted to bring to Austin when I moved out there. They were members of my Boys and Girls Club, right? And as I watched them grow up into young men and fathers, I have been so impressed and inspired. And man, I want to connect them to you. Phil said you reached out to him through Facebook. Please, I'm gonna make sure that happens.
You can hit me on Facebook. Go back and hit rewind on this 512-986-1560. That's my cell phone number. It's that simple. Text me so I will know that it's you. I do not answer unknown numbers. So if you need me, just hit me on the hip. Again, that's 512-986-1560. Shoot me a text. Let me know who you are and what it is you want to chat about. I'll hit you back and we'll go from there. It's that simple. I believe I was put on this earth to be a resource. Hey, I'm walking my journey.
You know what I love? Yeah. Hey, just a smooth. You was just as smooth as ever, my man. This is what I love. You see how you open that door to connect to other people? That's why I love working with you. I hope the people in the audience, when I'm at work, I'm working with people like the genius. You know what I mean? People who love what they do. They love caring for other people. They love their family. When I talk about community, man, you are up there. Like you exactly what I mean when I say it.
I appreciate that.
We talk a lot in our leftist spaces about doing mutual aid. So Black Life has brought on a few people who are really, really engaged in the community locally, and that's something we encourage from our family out here in the chat. and for them to encourage that from their family and friends. I'm going to show you my shirt right now, because this is what Tosh Mint and I've been up to. So let me stand up. Let me see. Okay, here we go.
Each character represent basically like a part of our character. We all have the ability to be any of these three characters at once, or whenever the time needs. We have the brain as the think first. That's the player who helps everybody think, evaluate before reacting. We have the baller. The baller is the impulsive, confident yet impulsive, right? Always ready to be about it. And then we have the sensei. The sensei is the regulator of just what you were talking about earlier, those emotions. I think that the more we educate our young Black kids on emotional intelligence, the further they will get along accomplishing their goals
And
and being successful.
It says leadership, sports, and emotional intelligence, the Mamba Mania team. And I guess I'll let you make that announcement.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that part later. We got some big.
We have huge
big
news.
projects.
But in the
Big
meantime,
projects.
I want to say hello to Lance. Lance just joined the chat. Hi, Lance. How are you? It's good to see you here. Lance, this is a good time for us to say we've pinned in the chat our Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord yet for Noteworthy, please go ahead and go sign in and join. We have wonderful discussions. We share videos, memes, information, all that good stuff right there in the Discord for Noteworthy. And if you haven't yet, like, subscribe, and share, please. Myra Page. Hey, girl. Hey.
We have a couple of pop in friends.
Yes, good to see you.
Yeah, I know we had an interesting show, an interesting panel of guests today. Mr. D, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. I would love to be able to have a full hour of conversations with you on some of the things we talked about and even more. Are you willing to come back?
I am. I did a lot of work with the Expect Respect program and helped get some curriculum passed down here in Austin Independent School District. The Expect Respect program, where in elementary schools they focus on teasing, bullying, and sexual harassment, and how in high school later on that turns into domestic violence. So
that's exactly
I'm definitely involved, and I'd love to work with you. That has never changed. So you know how to reach me. Call me, let me know. And as far as working together, that's an easy thing to do. So we can always.
That's exactly the things that we address in Mamba Mania. So that's perfect.
Now let me also put this in here. You just mentioned domestic violence, right? In the last couple of months here in Baton Rouge, there have been at least 2 or more domestic violence, double murders, and like murders. One young lady went to court, did the appropriate things, pressed charges, had the restraining order. Before the restraining order could be served to him, he broke in her house and killed her. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of relationship issues that these young kids that get involved with relationships are unable to handle. And then they let it escalate to murder, to eventually harming the person that they claim to love. So we got to address that.
We have a broken system, and the system is not set up for where we need them to be. The system is for the aftermath. We need a system set up to reach our children at a younger age, where we're talking about gender roles, where we're talking about when they start talking about act like a boy, act like a girl, those type of things, where they start putting our young people in boxes and say that this is what girls are supposed to do, this is what boys are supposed to do. And then when they try to act those things out without full context or without the education and information behind it, or if it's just coming from someone who really don't know what those roles are to look like, because in reality, the difference is one is male and one is female. They're both your children. You want to keep them equally safe. You want them equally informed. You want everything for them the same. However, you treat them differently based on their gender, and that makes no sense to me. But that's how we start. You know, little girl is supposed to have pink, little boy is supposed to have blue. And if a little boy like pink, oh my goodness, he's this. You know, we
Exactly.
do
Ridiculous.
that to ourselves a lot of the time, and we push that onto our children and not pay attention to what that translates into as they get older and start to adjust and try to figure out what their role is supposed to be with themselves. So if we giving them all this confusing ass information as they growing up, and then they're in the world and they seeing all this silly ass information in front of them, they don't know what's real and what's not. Now with the internet, you can go look up even more dumbass shit. So it's like, pardon my French, but it's like, if we don't take control of our children and the upbringing and the messaging that they get, then we shouldn't say nothing about it, because it starts with us. By the time it gets to the system, it's too late.
Did you know that pink was a boy's color before the turn of the century?
And that's
blue was the girl's color.
It's
So
how
it's
we
all
turn
social.
stuff. It's how we turn stuff.
Men
It's
wore
what
heels.
it's what people put out into the world. That's what's supposed to be, as opposed to
It's the Mandela effect.
You know, we should just be focusing on living life. And with my experience with cancer, that's simply what that taught me, is that all this shit is bullshit. It's about living life. We spend too much time worried about what happened in the past. We can't change it. We spend so much time focused on trying to build for a future that we don't even know we're gonna see, that we're losing focus on our present and everybody that we got amongst us and what we can make out of our day that we've been blessed to see. Because a lot of people didn't wake up to see it, and we waste that shit fussing about yesterday, or we waste it thinking that we
Okay, so I have to pass this.
you look at life differently, and you understand that it's about living life and enjoying life and passing that on, as opposed to being worried about the bullshit we deal with all the time. I quit watching the news too. You know.
You need to come to independent media and watch us, because we don't hand out propaganda. We actually do research and try to figure out what's going on now. Not just what's going on now, but what is being planned for 20, 40 years down the road, because you know they have a plan. But we have to figure out what that plan is. So come to Noteworthy tomorrow. Check us out. One of our people in the chat, because we're a family here. I have to throw you this information later. But he wanted to know if you knew about this oncologist and some of her work. So I'm gonna hold this comment and I'm gonna send it to you so you can look through it.
Okay.
You know what I wanted to say before we wrap up?
What's that?
I really love what you just said about the fathers and creating that project, your new project. I want to ask you, would you be offended if it expands over here and this side of Louisiana over here? I would love to do something.
What I would like to do is reach out to fathers that look like us, reach out to fathers that we all know, and uplift them and put them in calendars. I'm going to be making bookmarks. I'm going to be making stuff that highlights dads. You know, a lot of my work was around that as well. So that's going to be the first push, and all dads are welcome. It doesn't matter where you are. It's the same as with the music. If you're a dad in your neck of the woods and you look like us, then we want to uplift you. We want to make sure that you are able to uplift your community, that maybe you have some tools in your tool belt that another dad could use, that you're able to share. and make it that type of community. So of course, Miss Tasha, that is not a problem at all. I hope that we can get it into stores everywhere and
Yes,
make
indeed.
it.
I'm gonna let you, Jacoby, and Phil talk more about that and see how we can leak it off into, because they are about an hour and a half away from me. I'm here in Baton Rouge. They are over there outside of Lafayette and Abbeville. But I appreciate your time.
Wait, before that, I just want to say you've been a big hit, The Genius, in the chat. So, and my co-host for Noteworthy, Nahila Nordstrom, aka Michael, he's like, maybe Genius could come join us sometimes and talk to us. But we talk about politics, global and foreign and domestic. So, you said you don't like watching the news. We don't either, but we watch it sometimes. So our audience doesn't have to.
Yeah, I gotta keep my eye on a little bit of everything. So I watch everybody's station. I listen to everybody's perspective, and then I shut it off because just like that commercial radio station, it's gonna play that same song every 5 minutes, and you're gonna learn it by the end of the day. So that's why I stick to community radio. You know,
Exactly.
so I get my little feel, and then I move on out so I can understand so I'm not blindsided by the dumbness. So when I say I don't watch it, I just don't engulf myself in the bullshit, but I definitely pay attention to what is going on.
Good, and we need more people to pay attention, but we need people to pay attention with the right information, which is why independent media is here, and that's why we do what we do. So when people hit you with some bullshit, you can counter it with some facts, and because they're speaking from opinion or from what has been fed to them to believe, with no research and
we don't need blind
no curiosity.
Nah, we need our parents to educate our kids on life, and that includes all of this crazy stuff that could affect them, that they don't have any decision making ability. Like, we're not deciding what to do with Iran and in Israel, but it could affect us in some capacity. But just being aware of what's going on around you in this world is important. And what better conversations than with your parents and your family? Learn together.
Part of the issue, Sasha, is that what we tend to do is we set our kids up with a lot of these old sayings and a lot of this old stuff. Our kids are real. Kids they know when you full of shit, you know. So there's no need to sugarcoat. They are the most genuine being on the planet, and it's up to us to recognize that there's no such thing as a perfect parent. And we tend to put ourselves, once we reach a certain age, we push our kids to say, at 18 you're grown, at 18 you're this, and that's bullshit. I teach my kids, at the end of the day, you are always growing, because look at a tomato. Once a tomato is grown, we pull that tomato off the vine and we eat it, because there's nothing else left to do with it. So if you put yourself in that box and say that you are grown, then you limit your growth. You think that you don't have to learn anything else. You think that I know it all. So quit setting our kids up to think that at the magic age of 18 that they're grown, and teach them that you still have to continue to grow. You still have to continue to learn. Me at 51, if I don't get up and learn every day, then it's a problem with me. I might as well be that damn tomato and get plucked off that vine, because once you quit learning, it's no use for you anymore.
The Genius, they want to know what's your radio station again, and does it stream?
It's KAZIFM.org. We are the longest running. We've been around since 1982. We're a community radio station out of Austin, Texas. We are below the 90 dial, which means we are supposed to be a community station, and we play things like city council. We have black news. We play a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it's not going to be your commercial station that you're used to, but you can go on kzifm.org and you can listen live. My show comes on every Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's called The Untapped Show. You might not hear my voice because I have hosts. I have a whole team of folks that do things. But you can definitely check out the show. And if you have any artists or anybody that you'd like to get interviewed that have a talent, just email genius@kzifm.org or untapped@kzifm.org. And it's that simple. Hit me on the hip, and we can go from there. I'm not one of those folks you just can't simply talk to.
I love that, man. And again, we appreciate you.
That's my real cell phone number that I'm talking on, that you see me on right now with this chat. So that's my real number. If you text me right now, then hey, I'm probably gonna go eat after this, so I'm not gonna respond right away. But I promise I'll get back with you, and I love to work with other people.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, Miss Tasha.
No problem, man. And we will see you again here on Black Life and possibly on Noteworthy.
All you gotta do is hit me up, Miss Tasha, and let me know what you need. Like I said, you helped me out when I was getting started. You was thinking I was helping you out, but we was helping each other out. And that's how it works.
And that's how community grows.
That's how community goes. And so
right.
We wouldn't have been able to do what we did if we didn't have a location to do it. If we didn't have the kids stationed in a facility to do it, if we didn't have someone as open-minded as you to say, our kids need these resources and let's get it figured out. So don't cut yourself short in none of this. You get praise. You are amazing. Keep being amazing, and keep doing what you're doing. And I'm a phone call away. All you got to do is hit me and let me know you need me. And if it's in my ability, you got me.
I love that, man. I love that. Love you.
Stick
you
around.
Too.
Okay.
And we're gonna play a wrap-up video.
Okay.
And, well, we got 2 videos that we want to discuss.
Hold on. Hold on.
I love that intro.
Oh, that's Tupac?
Pac, my guy. So I love that intro coming on.
I appreciate that.
So I know you want to eat. You can you're free to leave if you like, or if you want to stick around, that's fine too. Oh, I think he's out. Okay. He's hungry.
How long are you on?
Probably another 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm good.
Okay, wonderful. So what we're about to do right now is we were talking about perspective, and we had already pulled up Tom Hanks, his perspective on how he never knew about the Tulsa race riots. We kind of touched up on that. You could go back and watch that if you want to rewatch the show. The next one. Oh, okay. And then you saw Brad Cranston then. So you're all caught up. So what we're going to do now is go to Jim Carrey. And then I have one that Tosh Mitt has not seen before, and I want to get her blind reaction to that one. But Jim, did I say John Carrey?
No, you said Jim.
Okay, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has been he's been on the right side of most things for a long time. So I haven't seen this video, so I'm curious to see what he's got to say here. Now, if you know me, you know my clicker clicks 5-6 times before it actually starts. So.
Like the 1999
in the 2000s.
I think Rondo said that.
Yes, Rondo did say that. Oh, wait, see? Okay, hold on.
It's not that long of a video.
I know. Now I got to start it over because I just don't like this. It's because, hold on, everybody. Here we go.
suddenly how thought.
All right. Now we're cooking with grease. All right.
Takes a while to load.
I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing, and how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly an illusory thing, and how thought is responsible for, if not all.
He came on the scene with an open mind and a tremendous talent that just had traction. That man blew up. And he also gives thanks to one of the most influential families, the Wayans, for giving him that opportunity.
He better.
Yeah. I know, but it was genuine. It was genuine.
Thanks. Good night, Jacqueline. Everybody tell Jacqueline good night.
Good night, Jack.
On her way out the door. She's across the pond, the genius, so it's really late for her right now. But she tries to hang in there with us as long as she can. It's interesting that you played that one, because I thought you were doing black perspectives from like white people understanding about blackness, and that one is like him
about
just
life,
understanding about life. Yes.
Yeah.
I could get out my own thought. Thank you.
It's so ancient. I'm sorry. But yeah. I just love the way that he was always willing to be real and honest and authentic.
Okay. Well, let's say good night to Myra. Myra's in South Africa. It's 2 a.m. there. Okay, Myra. Hopefully hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for Noteworthy at 5 p.m. Central. If not, I'll see you in the chatosphere somewhere. You sleep well.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
But I'm ready and anxious to see your video.
Okay, so mine is going back to a white person with a perspective on Black life. And this is one you've never seen before, so I'm kind of excited to don't look, turn around.
I didn't.
You're cheating. Okay.
My bad.
So this is David Bowie. I have this up here twice. Why do I? Okay. Takes me a minute. I really hate that about this. I really hate that about this aspect of my adminning, but what are you gonna do? Okay, here we go.
I'd like to ask you something. I mean, all right. It occurred to me, having watched MTV over the last few months, that it's a solid enterprise, and it's got a lot going for it. I'm just floored by the fact that there's so few Black artists featured on it. Why is that?
I think that we're trying to move in that direction. We want to play artists that seem to be doing music that fits into what we want to play for MTV. The company is thinking in terms of narrow casting.
That's evident. It's evident in the fact that the only few Black artists that one does see are on about 2:30 in the morning or to around 6. Very few are featured predominantly during the day.
No,
I'll say that over the last couple of weeks, these things have been changing, but it's a slow process.
I know it's funny. I think people have different perceptions when you wind up watching. Let's say you watch an hour or 2 or even 3 a day. People somehow come away with different ideas about what we are doing. We don't have any kind of day parting for anything, let alone Black artists day parted out of what would be, quote, prime time. We don't have that.
because one sees a lot on the there's one black station on television that I keep picking up. I'm not sure which station it's on, but there seem to be a lot of black artists making very good videos that I'm surprised aren't used on MTV.
Well, of course, also we have to try and do what we think not only New York and Los Angeles will appreciate, but also Poughkeepsie or Midwest. Pick some town in the Midwest that will be scared to death by Prince, which we're playing, or a string of other black faces
That's
and black
very
music.
interesting. Isn't that interesting?
You know, we have to play the music that we think an entire country is going to like, and certainly we're a rock and roll station now. The question would be asked: well, should since we're in New York, should PLJ play the Isley Brothers? Well, you and I might say, yeah, because we have grown up in an era when the Isley Brothers mean something to me, and so do the Spinners, even way after the Isley Brothers. But what does it mean to a 17-year-old? Well, if you talk on the phones to these guys like I did when I was in radio, it's
Well,
scary.
I tell you what it means. I tell you what maybe the Isley Brothers or Marvin Gaye means to a black 17-year-old.
Ah.
And surely he's part of America as well.
No
isn't he?
question, no question. And that's why you're seeing those things.
Do you not find that it's a frightening predicament to be in?
Yeah, but less so here than in radio.
And is it not? Well, no, don't say. Well, it's not me, it's them. Is it?
No,
Is
well,
it
that's
not?
why
Is it not possible that it should be a conviction of the station and of other radio stations? To be fair, it does seem to be rampant through American media. Should it not be a challenge to try and make the media far more integrated in
I
those
think
in
it's
music,
happening.
especially of anything in musical terms?
Absolutely, I think it's happening because white music and white musicians are now starting to play more than ever, more than they have lately, let's say in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
What black artists have been into. And now, hopefully, the lines are going to start to blur. And when we play a band like ABC,
Yeah.
well, there's white and black kids who are enjoying it. And all of a sudden, well, it's a little bit easier for a white kid to understand it. The fact is, quite frankly, I could even point you towards a letter in the new issue of The Record,
Yeah.
the magazine The Record, responding to an article by Dave Marsh that this kid just ranted about what he didn't want to see on MTV.
Well, that's his
And in no
problem.
uncertain terms, well, what I'm saying though is that there's, as you say, there's certainly a lot of black kids and white kids who may want to see black music. There's a ton of them who are, it's not like it was in '67 where you say, yeah, I'm not into that, but you are, yeah. Now it's, you're into that? I don't like you. And that's scary. And we can't just turn around and go, well, look, this is the right way. We can only teach a little bit at a time.
God bless that cameraman.
Interesting. Okay, thank you very much.
Does that make sense? Valid point?
I understand your point of view.
It's not valid, but I understand it.
Okay, so what is your? So
love
I
it.
want to. Okay, I want to get your reaction, and then I want to ask the genius a question regarding it. So go ahead and give your first. What did you think about that?
It gave me the idea of the next topic that the genius and Phil Smooth and I will dive into, and you, is the origins of black music, man. We need to talk about music and this kind of stuff right here that still have remnants in today's time.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask.
Genius.
Yeah, because I mean the origins of black music, that would be great. I have some stuff for that too. But genius, okay, you remember when? Okay, you remember this, right? 1983, they were refusing to play Michael Jackson, and
I remember
what
that.
turned it around was his record label threatened to pull all of their musicians, all of their artists from MTV if they wouldn't play Michael Jackson. And then Michael Jackson just changed the game, and all the white kids they couldn't take it. They loved Michael Jackson so much. And so they saw the money they were making and had to rethink it, right? But during that time, black music was more socially conscious. So that went on for a little while, and they were, I think they were noticing how it uplifted the community. They had already taken out trade out of schools because there were too many black businesses that were popping up because they knew trades from high
They just
school
started
and started
disparaging.
their own business. So they took that out of the school. So that's the way they cut us at the knee. Then the popular music about like UNITY and they don't really care about us. Yes, Sean, thank you. KRS-One, Public Enemy.
Self-destruction.
We can go on and on. And let me finish my thoughts, please. We can go on and on and on about that. So then they stopped playing that stuff. Okay, so they realized, people have a want for black music, but we can't have them play this type of black music. So now all you hear is raunchiness, drug use, sex, murder, fighting. Like, that's all you hear on the radio, and that's by design. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that shift in the radio, and on TV with the videos, because the videos that they even are allowed to play on TV are pretty provocative.
Yeah.
Nowadays?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually porno. That's what it
It's
looks
soft
like.
porn.
Really? Sad.
I'm one that looks at music from a lot of different angles. I know there's still some conscious music that is out there, but it's hard to find. But when it comes to the system that you're talking about, I believe that system is designed to portray us in a certain light. And those artists that are trying to get into the business are faced with the decision, just like many other people of color are, when it comes to trying to get a job or trying to get into somewhere that is kind of being held by a gatekeeper. And when they try to get in, they're being told that they have to do it a certain way in order for it to work, because this is what is selling right now. And so if they don't get along with the program, their music probably won't be played. What I believe should happen would be some of the older pioneers, like the Queen Latifahs that you're talking about, that spread that conscious music, open their own labels and open their own way for people, because they know what the system is like. And when Michael Jackson, when Prince, when all these folks start fighting against the system, I'm not one that's gonna get into conspiracy stuff.
But you in the right place.
You in the right place.
But
I was just about to let you finish your statement.
Yeah, once they, I try to teach the kids that I work with that the system is built for you to fight. It's built for you to fight. Go ahead and try to fight it. They got all this small print. They got all these little other things that are in the way for you to try to fight it. The system is not built for you to learn it and effectively change it. So it's so deeply rooted. It has to be changed from within. It has to be the people that are in the system right now saying that enough of this shit is enough. And it's enough of our people that are in the system that can break that matrix. But at the same time, I'm not one to challenge anyone's courage when it comes to standing up and they got to feed their family.
Yeah, they're not going to try to make waves. That's why they haven't done it. They're not going to make waves like that, because every time they do, somehow they're in court with accusations, or they're found unalived. It's like every time someone tries to do something like that, I don't know, it just seems like a coinky dink. Have you ever heard of have you ever seen that the interview with Crazy Bone talks about how he went to this secret meeting where they were trying to get them to, because they were so popular, to play this certain music that would influence our Black kids to go into the prison system?
I haven't
You never
seen that.
seen that before? Should we play that going out? No?
Yeah, no, I've never seen. I've never seen.
We
that
could
one,
play it
but
on the next episode starring the
nothing
genius.
surprises me.
Oh, we'll play. We'll wait for
And-
for you and the conscious rapper. We'll do it all at that time because it's like 12 minutes long, and we want to hear what the rapper has to say about it too. So we'll table that one, but it's very, very interesting. And the people that were in the room, because he didn't name names, but he gave like an idea of what type of executives were in the room, and they all had a vested interest in, like they're from the prison systems, they're from the
Sound like the
entertainment,
prison to pipeline and
school to prison pipeline. Yes.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Those type of meetings and those type of things, those type of systems exist, and it starts with us not necessarily having to teach our kids about the systems, but teaching them about themselves so that they can recognize what's going on around them, so that they can see what's happening around them and then educate them about what's going on. Because if you come right out trying to teach them about the system, they lose the ability to see life through their own lens. They lose the ability to be children and understand what the feelings that get associated with growing up. So equip them with what they need, with what they need, and give them the information, but make sure that it is appropriate for them along the way so that they can grasp it and understand it along the way.
Perfect.
All right, y'all. Well,
I think that's it. We're gonna end playing the rest of the Tupac, but I know you're hungry, so you don't have to stick around for that. That's just our outro video on the way out the door. So it was such a pleasure to meet you, the genius, and I look forward to having conversations with you and Tosh Mitt about what we could do within the community locally. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you on Noteworthy and definitely Black on Black Life with the rapper. So I know that was a mouthful.
Send me that information so I can remember it.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. And anything you would like to say on the way out?
If you need to find me, it is Dennis the Genius Johnson on Facebook. Phone number 512-986-1560. My mission statement is simple. Life is about choices. We make choices that give ourselves more choices, or we make choices that take our choices away. Together, let's bring healthy choices to our community.
Most definitely. Thank you, genius.
That's all.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
You do the same. Y'all be blessed. Keep being amazing.
Awesome.
All right.
What a great show.
Yeah, it was great.
You agree?
Yeah.
I thank everybody for being in our chat today. Hopefully we can rewatch this and learn some more. I told y'all folks I know good people. Get off me.
Oh my
Get off me,
goodness.
Rocco. Get off me, Sean. Nahila, I see how you're trying to get my guess. But I love it. Because we all in the same family.
No, you don't trying to slip on in there.
I appreciate you guys. And thank you for this wonderful outlet to be able to share and grow together.
So we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, for Noteworthy, 5 p.m. Central, same place. And if you haven't joined the Discord, hey, take a look. What's funny? What? Oh. All right, y'all. As always, we love you, comrades.
See ya.
Every motherfucker that gotta have my own. I got to hustle for my own. And any man out there got to feel me. It ain't about milking off the next man. That's a motherfucking hoe. I'm a motherfucking pimp. I'm finna come up on my own. I'm gonna get my own sack. I don't wanna be nobody worker all my life. I want my own motherfucking kilo.
You understand me? So that's what I did. And Shaka hustler, and I'm a hustler, so everybody understand it. Ain't no one man gonna stay in one spot forever. That's a sucker. I'm a hustler. I'm gonna come up. So I took what little bit he gave me and doubled up and doubled up and doubled up, and I've been doubling since. I have no motherfucking fear. I have no fear. I have only ambition, and I want mine, and I will do anything to protect and feed my family.
I prayed to God every night. I still do that. I just wanted, I wanted God to know that even though I was going through the worst of times, I still recognized it as being something greater than myself, and that I'm not gonna give up my faith just because it's going bad for me, because He was there when I was living good. So I just want Him to know that, that I'm not no punk, I'm not soft-hearted, that when it gets bad, I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't believe in God no more. I believe in God all the time, every day, all day, good and bad, rough and hard, 5 shots, jail time, everything, good time, $1 million, Benzes, all that. I always believe in God because He gave it all to me.
What's up next for you after this project?
Forward, up, faster, bigger, taller. I got things that's in front of me, but I won't know till I step in it. Again, you have to be logical. If I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat, and they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over just like throwing food around, but they're telling me there's no food in here. You know what I'm saying? Every day, I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song is going to change we hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, give me on the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, then you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. We was asking with them, with civil rights movement. We was asking, now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're going to do? I would tell each and every person out there, don't forget about that clicking up thing, you know what I mean? Be to yourself. Stay to yourself. Trust nobody. Trust nobody. After dog. You know what I mean? Straight up. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything turned on me. Fear is stronger than love. Remember that. Fear is stronger than love. All the love I gave didn't mean nothing when it came to fear. So it's all good. But I'm a soldier. I always survive. I constantly come back. You know what I mean? Only thing that can kill me is death. That's the only thing that'll ever stop me is death. And even then, my music will live forever.